we want to thank the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute for sponsoring this video. MMI is a school for motorcycle enthusiasts who want to train for a career in the industry. Click the link above for more information.
Hey guys, Ryan from Motorcycle.com here in the Himalayas riding the new Royal Enfield Himalayan. Before we get too far into that though, I want to dedicate this video to my friend and the editor-in-chief of Motorcycle.com who passed away in September. He should have been standing in front of the camera, not me. So yeah, we miss him. Okay, so the story with this new bike is, well, it's a new bike. I mean, from the ground up, Royal Enfield's told us there is barely a bolt that is going to be the same from the predecessor. The main performance aspect of this bike is the new 452cc water-cooled single. It's now a dual overhead cam, 4 valves, a thoroughly modern engine, and Royal Enfield is telling us it puts out about 39 horsepower and then right about 29 pound-feet of torque. And that's going to come in kind of right over 3,000 RPM is when you really start getting into it. But above 4, it takes off, you know, with some immediacy that the previous bike just didn't really have. It was a bit of a tractor, which this thing still is, but it's a bit spicier, a little sportier now, and you can rev out the bike a bit more. I believe redline's at about like 8750, so you can ring the thing out a little bit, and that's been a lot of fun out here. And at the same time, this rocky terrain, you can kind of lug the motor a little bit. If you do drop it below 3,000, you're probably gonna have to start slipping the clutch and whatnot. But we've been through some amazing tarmac and just incredibly twisty roads, and it does have a 21-inch front wheel as well as an 18-inch rear. And despite those off-road sizes, the bike is incredibly agile. It's so easy to handle. You've got a 32.5-inch seat height that's also adjustable. You can bring it up a little bit, and so it just makes the bike feel easy. It's easy to jump on and move out of the garage. It's easy to flick around between corners. It's easy to dodge dogs, cows, whatever you need to try and miss. So yeah, I think Royal Enfield did a great job. It doesn't feel like such a thick chunk of machine. It now feels just a bit more lithe. And I believe the claimed curb weight is something like 432 pounds. Which isn't light, but because it feels so low and it's got the low seat height, the bike is easy to manage. Just a single rotor up front, but it does a good job getting the bike stopped. You know, the ABS can kick in a little early on off-road because when you turn it to off-road ABS, it only shuts off the rear. You still have the front, and it does feel like it kicks in a little early, but you can kind of work around that. I think what surprised me the most was the suspension. It's substantially better than what was on the previous model, and it's now Showa components, a non-adjustable fork, and preload adjustable. It's like a 7-stepped preload adjustable shock. And we bumped this shock. I think I've got it set at 5. We started out with 3, and it felt like the bike was a bit raked out, so raising up the rear end helped a bit with the handling on the road, but also off-road. It definitely feels a little stiffer now because of that, but it holds it up really nicely for me. And you can see this bike is styled more modern. And in my opinion, I prefer the styling of the old one, but everyone else that I've talked to loves this thing, so that's subjective anyway. But with the bike being more modern, you're also getting a lot of new technology. So you've got basically 4 ride modes. It's really 2 ride modes, performance and eco, and you can change the ABS on and off in each one of those. So they call it 4, it's kind of 2, but the ABS is tied to them. So that's how you switch that. No traction control. Again, it's a fairly easy motor to work with. You don't really need it. If you're getting into the traction control, you're probably riding pretty aggressively and you don't mind stepping the bike out a little bit. It's not super easy to just whack the power on loose terrain and get the thing to spin up. You do have to kind of keep it in that 5,000 plus range to really be in the meat of the power to do something like that. So the new tripper display is basically kind of, they're keeping the branding with the little tripper that was offered on some of the other models. Now this display is a big, just big round TFT display. And with that, it's got a lot of Google connectivity. So you can connect your phone to the dash, and through the Royal Enfield app, you can navigate. And you've got a few different display settings on the dash. And one of them is your navigation screen, basically. And what that does is it brings all the pertinent information that you need to know, speed, all that stuff, to the bottom. And the entire top half is what you would see on a Google Maps display, which is really cool. And the display itself is big enough that it's just really nice, and you barely have to glance down. You know, all the information's right there. They did a really good job with that. And on some of our machines, we've been having a little bit of glitching ride modes and things. So that's software, and I hope they can get that worked out. For the most part, I've been fine, but some of the other guys on this trip have had some issues here and there. The tires you see here offered on the bike, you know, aren't super aggressive in terms of off-road. They've been fantastic on-road. Out here, the traction's been pretty good, honestly, so it hasn't been too bad. But if you're gonna, you know, ride the bike off-road more, you probably want to put something more aggressive on it. The center stand is standard. You have kind of 3 levels, and that's based on the colors. Which maybe I can put a graphic in here instead of explaining all of that. Tubeless wheels are also an option. I believe they had told us that they were on the top spec models, but that's what we have here, and they're not on these bikes. So a tubeless wheel is made, but it's either an accessory or it will be on the top spec 2 bikes, which are this color you see behind me, and then the black and gold yellow version. Pricing has yet to be announced, so we're not sure about that. Obviously, it's a huge mystery at this point, because you've got a bike that is substantially upgraded in every way in terms of riding, technologically advanced, completely new modern engine. So you'd think that we're going to have to see a price bump. I don't know what that is yet, and I'll definitely be curious to see, because the Himalayan was always a great affordable option, and I'm really curious to see if they can keep this, you know, at least it's probably going to be a bump, but I'm hoping that they can keep it as an affordable option while offering a more substantial package. There's going to be a host of accessories for the bike, so you're going to see all kinds of stuff. There's some really cool kind of rally styling for the back, which in my opinion kind of makes the back look a little bit more, put together. I just really like the styling of the rally kit that they've got, and they've got some different protection for the engine, different skid plates, all sorts of accessories for traveling, panniers, things like this. I think that pretty much wraps it up, guys, from the Himalayas. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe, and head on over to Motorcycle.com for the full review.
We want to thank the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute for sponsoring this video. MMI is a school for motorcycle enthusiasts who want to train for a career in the industry. Click the link above for more information.